What's up, guys? Studfit here for another episode of The Rundown, joined by Antilev. Antilev, thanks for joining us, man.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, especially after your top 10 grind. For those of you who did not see Antilev's name on the All-Cup ranking, he finished 7th. Awesome job, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm never doing that again.
I feel your pain. How did it go for you?
I mean, I think on the Friday, so day 10 of the tour, I was already at the 100-hour cap. Wow. So I have no idea how much I grinded, but way too much. It was really difficult, but it went sort of more or less all according to plan. I basically said I need 3 things to go for a top 10 run. I need time, so I had a week off of work where I could spend a lot of time grinding. I needed a lot of tickets saved so that I can basically invest in all the new items. So I spent, I triple capped 8 end items in this tour.
Wow. 8 items you tripled.
Yeah, so in total I used 109 high-end uncapped tickets between driver's cars and gliders, and something like around 70 level tickets. I don't triple cap items as a rule, so I've been saving tickets for about 6 months in the case that something would line up and I would want to take a shot at top 10. Yeah, and the third thing was I needed a tour where my inventory lined up well with the tracks in the tour. And so luckily, aside from the new items, Meowser, Tiger Bruiser, and the Grey Cat Cruiser, every item that I triple capped was an item that I was already planning to focus on. So I was really happy with that. And I'm not the greatest skilled player. There are guys who go over 100% on DKR's ACR estimation sheet, and their actual score. I made it 98%, which for me is really good, but for some of the really superstars of the game, it's nothing special. So I said I need to crush this with loadouts. I just need to have amazing loadouts, as much level 7 as possible, as much triple cap as possible, and it worked out in the end. So yeah. Yeah,
you said it no longer. Having level 7 for everything is no longer good enough. You have to have... Yeah, so what does it take then? If someone, just in case someone like myself, who is an idiot, decided they're going to use 100 hours, what kind of account, what kind of loadout are they going to need at this moment?
Okay, so I know Fantastic, who came number 1, and he had the highest estimate of any ACR shipments I saw, which was, I think, 1799, 1.799 million. Wow. He had basically all level 7 and an average base point value per track of over 2,600. The max you can get on a track is 2,800. That's with the triple cap driver, kart, and glider. At double capped, your base points for one track is 2,380. So in fact, he had an average that was closer to full triple caps than closer to full double caps. Wow. Mine was a little bit lower. It was, I think, 2520 or so. So a little bit less than halfway between double and triple, but I think I had close to half of all tracks with a triple cap high end, just that I had to use supers on a few tracks that brought my base point average down. So if you're looking for top, either you have to be extremely skilled and go for over 100%, or you're gonna want to have roughly half the items triple capped, as much level 7 as possible, and most of the rest will cap then as well. So yeah, it's a really tall order.
It is. Well, you were you met your you met the challenge. So congratulations, great job there. One last thing, because we got a lot to talk about. One last thing. Do you remember what the 8 investments you made off the top of your head? I'm sure the audience might be curious.
Well, I made more than 8 investments because of double caps and things as well. So I triple capped 2 new items, Meowser and Tiger Bruiser, both level 7. I triple capped 3 carts. No, 2 carts aside from that, because the Bruiser I already mentioned. I triple capped Rambi Runner and Silver King, so both phenomenal items, which are going to be useful to me in the future anyways. I triple capped 3 gliders, Rose Parasol, Dry Bowser Umbrella, and the 8-Bit Fireflower. Again, all 3 phenomenal gliders that I'm never going to regret having triple capped. And then finally, I triple capped gold to King Bob-omb. He's a Coinbox driver that I wanted to have triple capped for a long time, and he was on the most courses of any Coinbox driver, I think, aside from Meowser in the last tour. I already had Shy Guy Ninja triple cap from the summer. He's the only triple capped high end I had in my inventory. So yeah, those are my 8 investments for triple cap. I also double capped the Grey Cat Cruiser, the new item, the new cards, because it covered a lot of holes for me. Yeah, well, it's a big gamble, but it covered 4 courses that I had really weak loadouts for cards, so it's just perfect. And funny enough, I pulled it in the off spotlight.
In the week one pipe.
So when I got that, I thought, we talked about it last time in the rundown, but when that came out of the pipe, I was like, okay, I was still debating whether or not I was going to go for it. I thought, you know what, this is a sign, because I need this one. I double capped Peach Vacation to use on a couple of, I had her only single cap, and then I had a few cap tickets left over, so I double capped Nabbit just for one course, Toad Circuit T. But I mean, again, if you've seen the most recent driver of the week, a deep dive that we did on Nabbit, he's still useful. He's useful for me, so I was also happy to have done that.
That's awesome, man. Well, great job. Sounds like probably took 6 months of saving just to get all those tickets. That is insane. All right, well, we are in the Singapore tour, but I think I certainly wanted to give you some due congratulations there. Just like I owe some due thank you to our member community. We have so many great members. We couldn't do this without them. Literally, this channel runs off of the heartbeat from each one of these members. We absolutely love you guys. So thank you so much for everyone being able to put together so much support and keep this channel going. Now we have a very unique driver, right? We had the debate. Is it Giant Banana just like his brother? Is it Giant or Triple Mushrooms or Mushroom Cannon or something mushroom related because he's got mushroom on his shirt, similar to how Mario Sunshine had a banana on his shirt. And all of us were totally shocked. I really don't know anyone who knew 100% for a fact it was going to be Boomerang, and there are a number of people that kind of tossed around the idea along with all the other ideas I just mentioned. But he's got Boomerang. It's a unique skill, and I think ThisBeChris asked a good question in our server. He's like, just ran out of rubies, went hard into Meowser. I think he had to go down to like 97 or maybe 87, something like that. He's like, I just don't have a lot of rubies. Like, do I need to pull for Luigi Vacation? And unfortunately, the answer isn't as clear-cut as Meowser. We would strongly advise you to get him. This has been the trend from Nintendo. The last 4 coin boxers have, within a tour, also had a special skill that you also want, a top special skill. So they've been doing this. This is their trend. I'm starting to think that we no longer are safe with just 450 rubies going into a coin boxer. We now need as close to 900 rubies at any point in time. Because you know that a coin boxer is going to be followed by another great skill. And so, Antilev, what do you think about Boomerang? Is Luigi Vacation a must pull?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to say because if you can afford to pull for him after going from Meowser, it's probably not an issue to him. You just get every driver with a good skill. If you're, for the non-whales, who have to think about the rubies, I think a better way of looking at it is if you could choose between Meowser and Vacation Luigi, which one would you pick? It's a hard decision. I feel like he's going to follow a similar curve to Yoshi Kangaroo, who is one of the best drivers in the game. But, and if you remember, he debuted in the tour right after Kamek. So if you had to choose right now between having Kamek or Yoshi Kangaroo, who would you choose? For me, it would be clearly Kamek. He's the best driver in the game at the moment. Not only that, his pipe in total was really just crazy. All 3 spotlight items were great. So in a similar sense, I think if I have to choose between Meowser and Vacation Luigi, I'm going to choose Meowser. He's got a really strong start. He is starting off very similar to King Bob-omb Gold, where he had good tracks to start and then immediately got some really good buffs, dodging all the cities. He didn't get any cities this tour. Wow. So is he a must pull? Yeah, if you have the rubies, sure. I think he's gonna end up really good. If you didn't have the rubies and you went for Meowser instead, like on my free to play, I had to do 7-10 pulls to get Meowser. So I'm not gonna have enough to get Vacation Luigi. Am I gonna feel bad about that? No, I'm gonna enjoy playing with Meowser.
Yeah.
I think Vacation Luigi will be a top 10 driver because Nintendo feels safe giving boomerang drivers more tracks than Coinbox driver, even though I think they have a similar scoring potential to Coinbox drivers if you've got the base boombox. So I think he will be a top 10 driver in the future. But yeah, rubies are limited, so.
Yeah, it's gonna be so tough. I think thankfully they have a couple good packs if you need the rubies, but ultimately, man, if you can get him, I will say it would be something that you might regret later not getting. However, we have seen like Mario pipes and Luigi pipes come back up again. Now, if you are currently regretting not having Kangaroo Yoshi, and you're like, oh man, I wish I had Kangaroo Yoshi, like I would expect a similar trajectory with Luigi Vacation. So if you're regretting that, not making that move before, this might be your redemption move and allowing you to be able to have kind of this type of driver this go around. I will say, to your point, the coin boxers, everyone was complaining, coin boxers are everywhere. I want to use other skills. So Nintendo's response to that is, all right, hey, what we'll do is we'll cap the coin boxers right around the 25, 26 total tracks. And then we'll give other drivers like Bob-omb Cannon and maybe Boomerang, give them 30 tracks, 31 tracks. And really, I think the Boomerang is probably Nintendo's, I would say, I'm trying to think of a good way to describe it. It's kind of like their a spotlight or a highlight of what this game could be. Because, this game comes down to timing and RNG and luck. And so really the Boomerang is like the epitome of that RNG, because you have to have all your stars aligned. And really it takes time, it takes luck, it takes patience, it takes literally all the skills you need in this game to be able to be good and use it successfully. So I know that there's a number of drivers and players that are much better than me that triple uncap their ninjas and their kangaroos. I keep them at 1190 and I triple uncap the coin boxers, and I'm perfectly happy using those coin boxers. But I tell you what, I could certainly lose some points to those drivers that have boomerang skills triple uncapped. Now here's the thing, any type of track that's like a really long track and tracks that is very easy to get 200 actions, you don't have to necessarily have Boomerang. You could have Lucky 7. You could have basically any driver that you can get to those 200 actions on. However, specifically for this tour, this is not a super long track. I'd say it's below average. I wouldn't say it's like super short, like compared to Tokyo, but it's below average in length. And so getting those 200 actions may be very difficult. It's going to help have the Boomerang, but that's just one tour. In fact, almost all the top shelf have some pretty good options, so I don't think you necessarily need him for ranked or need him for this tour, even though we have 4 Singapore tracks in ranked over the course of the 2 weeks. So with that being said, he's not the only option in this pipe. I can say I was so excited for this Merlion to come out, only to reveal that it's not only did they whiff on the name and not name him Merlion, but also it's not a huge hitbox. So Antilev, I might have you do some research in the background just on his hitbox. We did not put together. We were expecting it to be super large. Like in the video, it looked massive. It looked totally big. And then only to open it up, I got it right away, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wait to put all these tickets on it, because I was literally saving. I have enough tickets to take it to level 7. I was like, I'm gonna blow it right away. I was like, I should probably use it first. And it looks small. So Antilev, do you have that by chance?
If you are familiar with like the Wildfire Flyer or Flame Flyer, it's about that size. It's a very medium cart. It's right in the middle, so it's not small, but it's not a big cart. You definitely wouldn't invest in it for the size. I think it's a cart where you can take a wait-and-see approach. I think what's really interesting about this pipe is that it's very, very similar to the Yoshi Kangaroo pipe. You've got a new Boomerang driver, you've got a new Spotlight cart, and you've got an old glider that has good value. The Silver Manta glider is an excellent glider, but it's not new. And if you recall, we had the Sunset Balloons at the Yoshi Kangaroo Pipe, and the cart was the green double decker, which is just one of the biggest disappointments of 2021. So I'm not trying to warn you off this cart, but I mean, I would definitely take a wait and see approach. Wait till it has, seen some tracks and see what it's buffed going. Because if it goes the same way as the green double decker, then you will regret having put tickets on it.
Yeah, it's weird because like the actual line is not very large. And then it's like you got these like big purple pink tire rims, or I don't know whatever it is. It's like that actually takes up more room than the actual Merlion. So it was not as exciting as I was hoping it to be. However, still a solid cart. I mean, I looked at it on that the sheet that Curtis has done such an awesome job with it. It's like right there around kind of the rose gold, wild black, that type of feel to it. So it's not huge, but it's medium. If you like investing, I know a number of people have invested in, say, like the P-Wing or these other carts that look awesome that have like a medium size. If you really like the way it looks, go for it. I just was hoping it was going to be big because Nintendo's been giving us a lot of big carts here lately to just tease us and make us run out of our cart tickets. But let's get into all these items when it comes to coverage. So really, anytime we look at these new items, we never get too excited or too defeated when it comes to looking at their coverage, like the actual number. Because they're always going to go up. And whether someone starts with 4 or starts with 6 or starts with 10, they always get to, right around the same number, eventually. So you would prefer less tracks because this is a city tour, meaning that you could get up to 4 city tracks. If you notice there, Luigi Vacation, he obviously, when you take into consideration level 6, comes with all four of these Singapore, I keep wanting to say Vancouver, these Singapore tracks, which, by the way, I absolutely love all these tracks. I am so proud of Nintendo for what an awesome track. It's very dynamic, it's got gliding, it's got curves, it's got coins over here, coins over there. I absolutely love the way, to me, it's like a city version of Vancouver. And you got the gliding section, and then you got this area over here with a lot going on, some curves and stuff. Going on in the building, like, that was genius. To me, I know we were expecting some, I don't know, more popular cities and countries, but I think Nintendo eventually got to the point where they're like, dude, we need to stop what we're doing, or they were in a brainstorming section and be like, what is the wildest, craziest thing that we can do? Because if you think about it, like a city, if you do any of the New York Minute, it's just like buildings all around you, and just you're surrounded by buildings, and unless you go into the park or unless you're doing something dynamic, like it could be pretty routine. I think Nintendo probably might have figured that out. It's like, hey, how many times can we just show buildings around us, or London or whatever? So having something dynamic is huge, and I think this is probably the proudest moment of Mario Kart Tour city course creation that I've ever been in the game. So huge kudos to them, and Antilev, seems like I don't listen to music, but you love the music.
I'm an old school guy, like old enough that I played the show Mario Kart, Super Mario Kart on SNES. It reminds me a lot of video game music from the 1990s. So it's very nostalgic for me. I absolutely love it. I think the design is super creative. It's beautiful. It's got so many fun elements to race as well. The gliding, the swimming pool, the blimp. It's just a really well put together track. And for me, it's a city track out of the 9 we've seen so far. I like it better than Vancouver. Yeah, I mean, it's. I'm not going to be playing too hard this tour because I need to give my rest to a bit of a little bit of a break. But I'm really enjoying it so far.
Awesome, man. Yeah, we've got some good new items, as we talked about. This Roaring Racer, the Merlion. It definitely needs to be called Merlion. Slipstream. It's got 3 city tracks. It's interesting. They kind of kept this Bowser's Castle. They kept a couple different tracks from last time, but they brought in this Sunset Wilds. They brought back some fun tracks that are in Bowser related, or something like that. In that you got the new Neo Bowser City, You got the Dino Dino Jungle. You got all these different fun tracks. So I mean, I think though you're not getting Luigi Vacation for his value right now. You're getting it for the future. I will say, not a huge fan of the Luigi parafoil. To me, that looks like a normal glider.
It does, doesn't it?
It really does.
End up being completely broken.
And honestly, it's probably going to be the most valuable glider. Now that we say that, but it looks just such a cop out, like such a. They're like, guys, we need a glider. What's vacation-y? And they're like, well, we could just put Luigi on there. Like, someone was like, all right, how much time do we have? Fine, just do that, and just literally threw him on there. But we have some other cool stuff. The jukebox buggy, I will say, when I first saw it in the picture, it was not that cool. In the video, it is awesome. It actually lights up and changes colors as you're driving. To me, this is like the next generation of karts, meaning like we saw the ship's wheel and you saw like the wheel kind of moving as you're gliding. Like having the jukebox change colors as you're driving, like that is the new generation of karts in Mario Kart Tour, starting in 2022. So this could be a fun year there. And then the glittering parasol, obviously being new this tour and in a special pipe, which we'll get to here in a little bit. And then we have this purple Koopa free running. We were wondering what skill was going to have. Double bob-ombs makes sense. It's I'm not sure. How do you feel about this, Antilev, having all these new super items?
I think it's a shout out to newer players and free-to-play players. It's a handy way. I mean, look at his start. He's, some of them are not so good, like the ice pit crew toad, the light blue pit crew toad.
Oh yeah,
he has a bad skill and not that really great tracks. But he's got all three of the RMX vanilla legs. Those are tough to cover. I think even on my main account, like one of them, I'm still using like a level 4 driver because I just don't have a top shelf for it.
Wow.
So I might actually just put him level 7 right away to cover that one course. So I like that they're doing it. I think people don't have to feel too bad if they miss out on them because they're supers, but it's a nice, for people with sufficiently advanced accounts. Obviously, they're not going to be like that useful, but I think it's really kind of a hand up to newer players, free-to-play players, to help them get some, cheaper, easier coverage. So I'm a fan.
Okay, what about these other items? The jukebox buggy, the glittering.
Shall we start with Luigi Vacation?
Yeah.
He's got a boomerang skill, which is, for me, it's up there with the best skill in the game. I'm a big fan of boomboxing. I love it. Not too much, but getting the right setup and, when the boombox finally hits, it's such a good feeling. However, Luigi Vacation's start is atrocious. 8 tracks, only 4 are non-city tracks. 3 of these 4 taken by a coin box driver. Only valuable track he starts with is Neo Bowser City normal. It's a 3 unlock, and he only there's no coin box driver and there's no other boomerang drivers there, so that is a very valuable track for him. But unfortunately, it's the only one. Bowser's Castle and Neo Bowser City I think both of those are Meowser courses now, and Sunset Wilds is a Kamek course. So he's not going to provide a lot of value starting out. But yeah, we'll see. Yoshi Kangaroo also start out slow. The Roaring Racer. This is an okay start. It starts with 5 non-city tracks. It doesn't have like a ton of overlaps with anything specific. Only Jukebox Buggy, it has 3 overlaps, and then it has a few with 2 overlaps. Jade Hot Rod, Pumpkin Cart, Fast Frank, and Black Dozer. The Luigi Parafoil, it's funny because it was not even in the regular trailer. It was only in the Apple Store trailer, and it was just kind of like off to the side. Like, it really seems like they just tacked it on at the last moment. I don't know what to make of it.
I will say though, if they're going to give us awesome tracks like this, focus on the tracks, guys. You did a great job with the track. If you need to throw us some lame gliders,
I'm totally cool with it. Totally
cool with it. Yep, go ahead. Sorry.
Luigi Parafoil has 5 non-city tracks. It looks like maybe it's going to be ice themed because it has all these vanilla legs. But who knows? We'll see. It's silver, so a lot of those items are ice themed. It has 3 overlaps with Silver Surf Master and a Meteor balloons. And other than that, it has got a number of overlaps, two overlaps with a number of items. The most notable are Starry Great Sail, Polka Dot Manta Glider, the Bright Balloons, and the Galaxy Glider. Moving on to the Glittering Parasol. It's got the Super Horn skill, which is a low-rated skill, but it looks amazing, and it's going to be a spotlight in the next card, so we'll see how it goes. It starts with 6 non-city tracks, which is pretty good for a city tour. Doesn't have a ton of overlaps. I think only 2 other gliders it has overlaps of 3 or more. That's the Silver Surf Master and the Daisy Glider. Both solid gliders, but yet an interesting one. I think it's a wait-and-see one. Jukebox Buggy is probably the best looking item in terms of coverage. Starts with 9 tracks, only 1 city, so that's pretty incredible in a city tour that it's starting with 8 non-city tours. It has 4 overlaps with the Black Dozer, so if you've got that one at a high level, then maybe this one is less interesting for you. And it has 3 overlaps with Wild Black, the new Roaring Racer, Crimson Hot Rod, Sheer Ship, and Black Circuit. One thing I will say about the Jukebox Buggy, it is a smaller card. It is kind of on the level of Prancers, like Gilded Prancer, and Purple Bunny. So if you're familiar with those cards, it's in there for hitbox. So it's not among the smallest cards in the game, but it is below average. So just be warned, if this is something you're looking at investing in, it's not a big one. And then Purple Cooper free running, finally. I mean, he also managed to dodge all cities, which is pretty interesting.
That's great for a
super. 6 tracks, and like I said, he's got all the RMX vanilla lakes, so if you have a hard time covering those, and you get them in week 1, it may be worth it to throw a few tickets on him and get him to a respectable level.
Great points there. I thought you did a great job. I know that parasol, you're a huge fan of that, the look there. I know the rose parasol.
I like the parasols, yeah. I'm thinking about the magic parasol as well as one to invest in for the future, so I'm a fan.
I think the parasol might be the new family. Like when we talk about families of gliders and stuff, like the wings and like this parasol specifically, as we see in the special pipe, it's taking on some good coverage there. Here we are for the non-spotlights. We do have a new driver. We have Peach Explorer added to the mix, which I think overall is pretty good. It's a driver with a lot of coverage, and I think out of all the drivers they could have added, I think this is a solid one to get. Bob Cannon, traditionally has gotten good coverage, and as you remember, she used to be a top number 1 driver in the game. So great to see her added to the mix. But again, we're starting to kind of add up there how many drivers we have, but not as many as the carts. We have no new ones, but you can see it's a crapshoot there. If you're hoping and praying to get a specific cart, keep praying, man. You might just want to make sure a pad for your knees there, because you're going to be praying for a while. And then we do have a new glider added to the permanent items, the Silver Surf Sailor, a phenomenal glider. I think when we look at all the gliders on here, obviously Black Great Sail, so much value there. We have the Black Toe Beam Balloons, so much value there. We have some really good ones too. Some former Kings, some Dry Bowser Umbrella, some Strawberry Donut, Silver Star Shoot, some of those kind of top the list there. I think really those are my personal top 8 there that I would want to get. But the Silver Surfer, this is probably the number 1 I want myself, because I do think this is it hasn't been easy to level up. We don't get a lot of glider tickets comparatively, but it's an awesome for coverage. I think, did you invest in it? I know a lot of people have put a lot of tickets into it here recently.
I didn't double cap it last tour, but because I ran out of cap tickets, I only had 30 glider caps only. So after triple capping all 3 of those gliders, I didn't have any left. But I did take it to level 7 because it covered. It's pretty highly ranked right now, but it still doesn't have S tier coverage. But the value of its coverage is very good. It covers some really hard to cover courses, paywalled ones, and it really filled the gaps nicely. It was actually the only glider which I needed to invest significant tickets in to get the level 7 to have full coverage of high-end level 7s on the last tour. So it really filled those gaps very perfectly. So yeah, that really depends on your coverage, what works for you. But check it out. I think it's a very nice glider, and it's got the blooper, which is one of the best glider skills in my opinion.
Yeah, certainly a single or a frenzy with a blooper is definitely underappreciated in my opinion as well. Then we have the week 2 pipe. So we have some Luigis here. You may or may not have, 2 of which are lucky 7. So that's a great skill. Obviously the week 1 pipe, we went back to only having, 6 high ends. So, last tour we dabbled in some 9% high ends, and here we are at 12% high end, which is great odds. You think about it, it's like this is better than some special pipes. Now, especially when you look at the items. So we have the Black Great Sail and the Black Dozer. Both have been top number 1 carts and gliders in this past year in 2021. You have a huge Painster hitbox. You have the Ship's Wheel, which obviously came in a special pipe. Most likely you have it, but certainly a great one to invest in. Now the decal, Builder Luigi, that whole set, even the Flying Easel. Flying Easel is probably the better of those 3, but that's really where it's kind of lacking. Everything else is great value at 12% odds. The only thing is, who has rubies to go into this pipe after everything that we've seen? So that's kind of my takeaway from it. Is it's great odds. If you are a Luigi fan, there are so many Luigi fans out there. I'm really surprised. I know ThisBeChris was really excited about Luigi and trying to get him, and I think overall this is going to be a great pipe if you like Luigi's. But other than that, guys, it's going to be really, really hard to go into this pipe. There's just so many other great pipes that we've had and are having that if you have rubies, this is. I think if you took this pipe out of this tour and put it in literally almost any other tour, it probably would be an awesome pipe. I would highly recommend. But based on the circumstances, I'm just saying this is going to be a tough one to pull on. What are your thoughts here, Antilev?
Yeah, I more or less have the same opinion. It's actually quite an amazing pipe, 12%, and almost most of the items are good. Yeah, that middle column is a bit meh, but other than that, you can make a case for every item on the left side and on the right side being worth pulling for. But it's just as you say, who has any rubies left? If you have rubies left, you're going to get Luigi Vacation instead, probably. So I cannot really advise to pull on this pipe, even though when we look at the pipe rankings, Tabor makes his list of best pipes, worst pipes. This will probably be really high up there. Very good odds and very good items. Just the question of the timing.
I'm with you. I don't have very many rubies left, but the ones I do have, I'll be going into this pipe. We have a Pauline pipe with a couple of your favorite gliders, a couple of favorite ladies, and some cool looking carts. Now the carts, if you remember, these three used to be in a back in circa summer 2020. They were in a special pipe. Back when special pipes only had 3 items in it. Certainly valuable items, and then we have 3 of a lucky 7 driver, a coin box driver, and a pretty good coverage queen in the Rose Pauline, and then these 3 gliders. I love all 3 of these gliders. One of which being new, probably one of the coolest looking shapes. But I think the Rose Parasol, I know that's you and Carlos's. You guys, if you could have a fan club for this Rose Parasol, you totally would. But what are your thoughts on this pipe?
So the nice thing is the new glider's a spotlight. The gliders look really good. Magic Parasol is up and coming. Rose Parasol is one of the best gliders in the game. The drivers and the carts, I'm not really that convinced by. I don't think any of them have great value. Pauline is got too many cities. Pauline Party Time, same story, too many cities. Pauline Rocket, but a bad skill. I don't think anything of them are really worth pulling for. And the carts, they're all older carts as well, with really great coverage. So in general, I'm not a big fan of this pipe. I think you go into this pipe for 1 or 2 reasons only. One, you want the Rose Parasol, and you're just going to do what it takes to get it because it's not been available much. I think aside from banners, it's only come back in 1 non-spotlight special. or it wasn't in that Pauline pipe. It was in 100 Pauline pipe as a spotlight. But if you didn't pull that, you don't have it. You want it maybe, or you want to get the spotlight glider, which is what most people will pull it for. But overall, I don't really like the value of this pipe. Odds will play a part. I'm going to predict that it's 4 high ends, one of each non-spotlight driver, karting glider plus the spotlight glider. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, man, it's hard to argue with that. I'm thinking with a 50 pipe, with drivers, 1 spotlight. Yeah, I'm thinking a spotlight plus 3.
Yeah, I mean that's the minimum it could have. We can't have less, right? Because it has got a spotlight, and then you need to get a chance at getting all the other items. So that's. But I mean, I'm just not optimistic that it's going to be more than that.
I mean, we're back to non celebration, non anniversary, non New Year. So like I'm expecting bare minimum from the odds on this pipe. It could potentially have 1 spotlight and 4. To make the odds 10%, which I think that's probably right on par for a decent pipe. Is kind of that 10% odds, but I don't know. At this point in time, Nintendo just, I think whatever I say, they're just going to do the opposite. So maybe I should just have 1 spotlight and 4 high ends. I don't know. I think when you have a spotlight, Nintendo sees that as like an additional value that's giving you. So they take something away in return. And so I think,
like 2 non-spotlights or something.
Yeah, like that's how they're looking at it from your vantage point, especially if that spotlight is a new item. So that I'll probably lean back on that 1 spotlight, 3 items. But we'll see how it goes. It's probably gonna be one I'm gonna pull on. I don't think I have any rubies left to go into Sunday to try to pull on this in like a video. But I definitely want that. I definitely need to get my rose parasol up. And the glinting parasol, something I like. You know how I am a huge fan of new items released in a special pipe. So I'm with you there. I don't think I have Rose, Pauline Rose up very high, but I have the 2 ladies at level 7. So don't necessarily need that. And the carts are not great. I mean, these are old carts that you whether you had them at a high level or not.
They didn't even give us the Rose Taxi, which is the best one of all taxis, like by far.
Oh,
so yeah. I mean, the Rose Taxi is actually good value, but they didn't put it in, which is pretty annoying. Yeah.
Well, if you're like me, to go into any of these pipes, you had to get a couple packs because we were pretty depleted after going into all these other pipes. So we tried to have some fun here. We got the week 1 pipe packs and the week 2 packs. Just for fun, I put some titles next to each one. Ultimately, these were taken away and then brought back. Now we're just having some fun with them. Ultimately, I try to think, hey, if I could only get 2 packs out of the 4, which 2 would I get? So I try to give 2 studs, 2 duds, and based on aesthetics, most predominantly, this Luigi parafoil is lame sauce. It is just based on aesthetics. Now, could it have good value? Could it give good coverage? Hey, you know what? Maybe. Why not? It's a new glider. It'd probably be the one of the 2 gliders this week and next week. Maybe the one I would go to if I had to debate between those 2. But I'm not. I mean, I will say I got it once and that was it. I'm not getting it 3 times. I don't need that glider to be dominant in my arsenal. I'll tell you that. The other one for week 1, we got a low stud, which I think this is probably my favorite pack, maybe of all time. It's a brand new driver for me, and the cart I have just once. But I know some people, it wasn't a pack before, so I know like Carlos had it 3 times, and it's when you're talking about hitbox, it's phenomenal. It's still like newish. Like it came out around the same time as the yellow off-roader, and so it's still like climbing in value. Got a great hitbox. It's like literally everything you want in a pack, other than it's 90 rubies and it's going to cost you a little bit more. But I think this one is probably my favorite pack of all time. And I think if you have to get some rubies, that one's pretty solid. As for week 2, hard to argue for. Well, first of all, these festival wings. I just put an I'm perplexed. What do you do here? Does this mean that we have, a Tokyo tour coming up? What's the deal here? I don't know if you have any idea, Antilev, but what's up with these festival wings?
Yeah, this is an item where I have to actually go and look up what it's called because I forget it exists. It's I was like, what the heck is it? Is it full flight? I don't remember. So I went and looked up. Yeah, it's a really old item. It's not the worst coverage. It's got 15 non-city tracks, but it's just, I don't know. I think it's green shell as well, which is one of the worst glider skills. Yeah. I'm puzzled.
I think we've already spent too much time talking about these festival wings. Let's move on.
Yes.
They're super awkward.
Fair enough.
Then we have the other pack next week. We got Mario Sunshine, which some people might have him at level 7. He's been around for a very, very long time. So that part doesn't really help you out. Now, I will say you got this brand new cart. You got a brand new cart plus a driver with an awesome skill. Absolutely solid value. Now, if you have Mario Sunshine already at high level, I'll probably get this one once just for that the jukebox, just because I don't like getting stuff where I already have the driver. But ultimately, solid 90 ruby packs. These are 2 packs. I would say it's definitely worth it. So that's kind of the summary of the 2 packs, and then we have the premium challenge. We got King Bob-omb. If you don't have him, maybe you haven't pulled on a lot of 100 pipes, but he's been in just about all of them. I kind of put the nomenclature on there. Is this 2020? Because that was the last time he was valuable. So overall, I think that's kind of my synopsis of what you might or may not be debating on investing in. What are your thoughts, Antilev? What do you think of the packs and the premium challenge?
I think my favorite pack this is probably the one with the jukebox buggy. It's such a cool looking card. It's a new item. It's paired with the driver he doesn't have the best coverage, but he's the only high end banana driver. It's just so much fun to play with. If I would buy any of these, I would probably go for that one. I'm not as high on the swimwear Daisy one and Cactar as you. I think Cactar, like the unfortunate thing with Cactar is it came out in the same tour as Yellow Off-Roader, and Yellow Off-Roader is just like, it's going so good. And Cactar is just lagging a little bit behind. And then Daisy swimwear, she's got the triple bananas, which is okay, but it's not, it's hard to invest hard driver with that skill. So I'm not a huge fan of that pack. So I would probably rank them like I do think 90 ruby packs are where the money's at here. The King Bob-omb premium challenge is this is not interesting. ACP regular, almost all of his tracks are taken over by Coinbox or another plus skill. Like I think the last interesting track he had was DK Summit N, and Mario Kart got that recently, so he doesn't have a lot of value left. And then the Luigi parafoil is just a bit of a crapshoot. Like it's gonna be good. I could see it becoming very, very good just because it's such a low effort glider, but who knows, buy it once if you want to gamble on it, but it would be really a gamble.
There you go. All right, guys, and for those of you who did not see in the data mining, we do have a Versus Tour coming up. Pretty much a 99% chance of it being next tour. We have Waluigi versus Wario, or Wario versus Waluigi. It's a tour that I've been asking for a long time. I'm a big Waluigi fan, as you know from, you can probably see right here on my picture. Huge Waluigi fan. That's my dude. And then we got Wario, which fun guy too. So the fact that these guys are in a Versus Tour, this is what I've been looking forward to. Now, of course, I'm not a huge fan of the Versus themes and like the points going up, and I think it's all just like a huge gimmick and just super goofy. But I do think it's cool. Like we'll get some pipes and packs with Wario and Waluigi. The thought is this also a time where we'll get a new Wario alt? We just saw a Waluigi alt, so our guesses are probably going to be a new Wario alt, which we have needed. I think the last one we've had, what is Wario Cowboy? And And then will we see Waluigi Vampire return? It was just a couple tours ago he was released, so unsure about that. But what are your thoughts, Antilev?
Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to this one. I know a lot of people don't like the rally format. I'm actually a fan. I think it makes it more interesting. It's usually tours where we don't have a new track, which is nice. You can really get some returning tracks, use your inventory to the fullest to play. A lot of people said the Bowser versus Donkey Kong tour was not a good tour. I loved it because I had good loadouts for every track without having to invest in anything new. For boomboxing, it's really nice being able to see exactly what position you're in and what position the bots are in to optimize chances of them getting a single coin box and you getting a boomerang frenzy. You can get lightninged in 4th place, but you also get lightninged and blue shelled about half the time because there's only 4 bots who are aiming for you instead of 7. So I'm a fan, and I think this is a really nice versus Wario versus Waluigi is a nice versus format compared to like Mario versus Peach or Mario versus Luigi or Peach versus Daisy or any of the like more regular characters. I'm a big fan of both Wario and Waluigi, so I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, just like you said, hopefully we'll get a new alt of Wario or Waluigi or both even.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It's rare that we get to see this early on what next tour is going to be. But it's I'm getting hyped already, even though I absolutely love this tour, mainly because of the tracks. But we got a lot to get into because we have a lot of buffs, mainly because we have 4 brand new tracks, and then we have some older tracks brought back, things like Sunset Wilds, things such as Neo Bowser City. So starting off the top, we got Catalina, who somehow got through a city tour without getting any city buffs. In fact, got 4 buffs, none of which are cities, up to 12 tracks already. So those of us who were under the thought process that she could be an absolute beast when it comes to coverage, already starting off with a great start, up to 12 non-city tracks, 0 cities. Yeah, you can't get too mad at that. Now I will say the DK Pass, certainly not like the best track that you needed coverage on. Most people are pretty solid on coverage. Sunset Wilds and Sunset Wilds T are okay. Those are tracks you might be lacking a top driver for. But at the same point in time, you're happy to have 4 buffs that aren't cities. So kudos to Catalina. And moving on, 3 drivers with 3 buffs. 3 drivers that I'm very happy to see get the buffs. We got Mario Saddle of You getting the DK Pass and DK Pass R. Not tracks you really needed on, but decent skill. So you might have took him to like 7, 1190 like myself, and he might be your best option on those. But at the same point in time, there's 2 tracks that have been around for one set of tracks that have been around for a long time. And then, of course, he does get the 1 city on the reverse. So, Meowser, as you mentioned at the very beginning of the video, got 3 buffs, none of which are cities. So that you absolutely love. So 0 cities and 11 non-city tracks for Meowser. Neo Bowser R, Neo Bowser T, and Waluigi Pinball RT are 3 decent tracks for a coin box driver. So you absolutely love so far how Meowser is tracking. We're in uncharted territory when it comes to a second coin boxer like this, like Meowser. Of course, we got a couple peaches with Gold Peach, Pinkle Peach in there, but Meowser, a huge hitbox. It's coming out of a New Year's tour. We're wondering, is he gonna be the next Kamek? Is he gonna be like Toilet Paper Mario, or is he gonna be like how is he going to rank up? I think he's off to a fresh hot start. So if you need to put tickets on, in fact, even if you don't need to put tickets on him, put tickets on him anyway. I think he is the safest investment we've seen since Kamek. That's pretty straightforward there. Probably not saying anything earth-shattering there. We got Waluigi Vampire up to 20 non-city tracks, 4 cities, which is a very good start for him. Now, of course, not super great skill, but Neo Bowser City T, Waluigi Paintball RT, and then 1 city with the trick version of Singapore. Then we got 4 drivers with 2 buffs, with Pauline Rose up to 20 non-city tracks, 10 cities. Penguin Toadette up to 12 non-city tracks, 2 cities, with the remix Vanilla Lake. So those are nice. It's got the T and the R. Then Tanuki Rosalina, man, the rich get richer. She is crushing it. 23 non-city tracks, 2 cities. Half of her city tracks coming from this tour with the reverse version of Singapore, and then the obviously a pretty decent track there with the the 2R. I want to say Cheap Cheap Island, but that's not what it is. Choco Island. There you go.
Yeah.
And then Light Blue Toad, Pit Crew Toad, he's got 8 non-cities, 1 city. So nice to see him get 2 buffs, both of which are not cities. And then we'll kind of skim through the drivers that got 1 buff. But we got Builder Luigi, 19 non-city tracks, 8 cities. Holiday Daisy, 17 non-city tracks, 7 cities. Daisy Swimwear, 18 non-city tracks, 11 cities. So many cities for her. Oh my goodness. DKSNES, he has been on fire lately, but he's still got a lot of cities, including this reverse version. 22 non-city tracks, 13 cities. Holy moly. Then Lock into Party Time, 20 non-city tracks, 6 cities there. He's got the regular Singapore track. Luigi Painter, up to 22 non-city tracks, 12 cities. Decent coverage there. You're talking about a total of 34 tracks. Crazy. Mario Sunshine on the flip side of that, unfortunately, only has 15 non-city tracks, 12 cities, for a total of 27 total tracks. And of course, he gets a city. Surprise! Pauline Party Time, same boat. She's got another city track, so she's up to 13 non-city tracks, 7 cities, for a total of 20 tracks. This is somebody who came out in, what was it, New Year's 2020? Ridiculous. Beach Halloween, 21 non-city tracks, 7 cities. She gets the RT. And then Peach Happy. Nice to see her get a buff, but unfortunately it's a city, so she's got 19 non-city tracks, 9 cities. She's got the T version. Put number 5 on our list. And then we have Penguin Mario get another buff, because that's exactly what he doesn't need anymore, is keep getting buffed. He's number 4 on our list with the RT, up to 23 non-city tracks. Holy moly. If you think about that, when you look across the entire board, he and Tanuki Rosalina both have the most non-city tracks on this slide. So crazy that Penguin Mario, again, everyone wonders why Penguin Mario's on the list. He doesn't have great skill, he's got 23 freaking non-city tracks, 6 cities, number 4 on our list. Then we have Yoshi Kangaroo, who is just loving life. He's got 20 non-city tracks, 11 cities, number 7 on our list, and he continues to get the right buffs, or at least get it buffs in general. I'm not sure if you really want the T version, but I absolutely love him, and he seems to be constantly in ranked. Birdo Blue, 10 non-city tracks, 5 cities. Yellow Pit Crew Toad, I think a lot of people have put investments on him. Happy to see his 1 buff, which is Choco Island 2R, with no cities from this tour. But 14 total non-city tracks and 14 total. Antilev, what do you think about the drivers that got buffed?
Yeah, so there's some definitely interesting ones to focus on here. Let's just start at the top. KnightRoso, she got 4 buffs. Not actually that bad of buffs, considering that she doesn't have a good skill. DK Pass T, okay, that's the coin box one. That's like where everyone's going for 300 actions, so that's not that interesting. DK Pass R is also coin box track, but it's infamous as being Party Time Pauline's only exclusive. A lot of people are not invested in Party Time Pauline, so it's not that bad to have as a track for her. You can almost consider it a non-coin box track. Sunset Wild Normal, that is also... that has got a coin box on it, and so well it's T that does not have a coin box, but it has some lucky 7 drivers. They're okay buffs. She needed 4, but yeah, it's hard to dodge all those plus skills. Let's look at Meowser. His buffs are really, really good. He's got a new exclusive in Neo Bowser City T. It didn't have a coin box driver before, and he's stealing exclusives two other Coinbox drivers. Neo Bowser City R was a Koopa, gold Koopa exclusive before, and Waluigi Pinball RT was a PGP exclusive before. So they both lose an exclusive, and Meowser goes up relative in the sort of pantheon of Coinbox drivers. So that is a really strong and kind of mean buff set for him. Mario's like Studfit said before, if you have tickets to invest in him, it's a safe investment. He's having a really strong start. I think he's going to follow a similar arc to Gold King Bob-omb, and I think he will be the number one driver in the game like relatively quickly.
Wow.
Looking at Teleview, he got some nice buffs. He got a DK pass normal, which is a bit sad for Donkey Kong because that was one of his tracks where you would have used him a lot. It's a pretty easy track to get 200 actions, especially with a Lucky 7 driver. So if you got Mario Teleview, who's getting great coverage and a lot of non-Coinbox tracks, I think he's up to 10 or 12 non-Coinbox tracks already. He's great to it might be a Lucky 7 driver worth double capping. And then he's got DK Pass R again. Like I said before, you can almost treat it as a non-Coinbox track. So really good buff for him as well. Going beyond that, Donkey Kong Jr. setting a record with 35 total tracks. I think it's crazy. It's absolute nuts. Most of these are single city buffs, so they really won't move the needle too much. You're really looking at the non-city buffs when you want to look at value added. So you can see the vast majority here are red letters and not really going to change a whole lot. And you'll see on the driver rankings page that not that much has been changed.
Yeah, the one driver that got 2 city buffs would be Pauline Rose. Everyone else at the very maximum got 1 city buff. So you're right. It's not moving the needle too much. Really good point there. As we move into karts, you'll notice, huge shout out to Marco, blew up the slide. This is an eye
read all
jam.
those.
Oh my gosh. Antilev.
You don't have to.
I'm going to have to take a break midway through this. This is ridiculous. Look how many karts that they buffed this tour. This is getting insane. Out of control. All right, we'll get through it though, guys. Just take a deep breath. Maybe refill your water. Get some popcorn and sit tight. We got the Frosty Bells with 4 buffs up to 13 non-city tracks, 2 cities. Obviously, very cool looking kart, paywalled. But nice to see those 4 new tracks, and obviously 2 of those be in the cities. All 3 of these newerish karts got 3 buffs. We're talking about the Cactar, which breaks the top 10. Number 9 on our list, 19 non-city tracks, 2 cities. We got the Sports Coupe 2020, the brand new one from last tour. Got all 3 new buffs. No cities. You gotta love that. 9 total tracks, though. Not a lot. But for something that just came out last tour, you're very happy for it to avoid those 3 cities. And then the White Snow Skimmer. One that people felt like was going to be pretty sneaky good. Unfortunately has 3 cities now, 12 non-city tracks. But still probably on a good trajectory there. Nice to see some buffs for that. Karts with 2 buffs. This is kind of where we'll pick up some speed. We get the Black Cat Cruiser. I think a lot of people thought that this could be really valuable. 17 non-city tracks, 10 cities, number 14 on our list. We got the Frostwing, 12 non-city tracks, 2 cities. I absolutely love the Frostwing. I am loving this card. I have it at 7 already. I'm debating if I should double uncap it or whatnot. I know Anke triple uncapped it. Kudos to her. I absolutely love the way it looks. We got the Gold Pumpkin cart. Really, really, really a valuable cart. 23. Look at that. 23 non-city tracks, 3 cities. That is really, really good. Number 12 on our list, and it's hasn't even been around that long. It's leading in literally almost every other category except for the hitbox size. It is a very tiny cart, so just keep that in the back of your mind. We got the Gray Cat Cruiser. This is your boy. I apologize. I think that number can't be right. Is it 21 cities? That cannot be right. Let's just say 2. We got 9 non-city tracks. We got the Lunar Cruiser, 14 non-city tracks, 2 city tracks there. We got the Metal B-Dasher. So here's when we're gonna probably say have our first B-Dasher, but we got a lot of them getting some buffs. It's split down the middle. half and half. 10 non-city tracks, 10 city tracks, followed by the Silver King. 22 non-city tracks, 9 cities. Number 1 card on our list. No surprise there. He is crushing life with 2 buffs here. We have the Tanuki cart, a very solid card as well, kind of in the similar vein, but it has 0 cities. How cool is that? 20 non-city tracks, up to number 8 on our list. I know Sammy D absolutely loves the Tanuki cart. I love it too. Nice to see no cities there. That's phenomenal. And then your cart, Antilev, the Tiger Bruiser, up to 8 non-city tracks. It did get 1 city, but it's a medium-ish size hitbox. I think if the hate's gone too small. I think people call it too small. I think it's right around a medium, maybe slightly above average, but certainly absolutely love the look. Aesthetically, it is gorgeous. Now we got this is where we're gonna take a deep breath. We got the Black Dozer, 21 non-city tracks, 3 city tracks. We got the Black Kabuki Dasher, 16 non-city tracks, 6 city tracks. We got the Blue Badwagon, 9 non-city tracks, 8 city tracks. Candy Clown, 15 non-city tracks, 0 cities. We got the Cheer Ship. Both of these 2 holiday carts with no cities. You gotta love that. But the Cheer Ship has 1 less at 14. We got the classic B Dasher Mark II, 8 non-city tracks, 11 cities. The Cream B Dasher Mark II, 12 non-city tracks, 9 cities. Decal Streamliner, 15 non-city tracks, 6 cities. We got the Chemex Zoom Broom, crushing the coverage, 20 non-city tracks, 7 cities. Number 2 on our list, we got the Carp, the Meme Cart, 16 non-city tracks, 1 city for the Carp Cart. The Lime Tea Coupe, 15 non-city tracks, 14 cities. The Orange Streamliner, 14 non-city tracks, 9 cities. I'm starting to lose it now. Bink B Dasher Mark II. We got the 12 non-city tracks, 9 cities. A lot of cities there. But I think as you're looking at all these B Dashers, it's got pretty good value. It's one of the most non-city tracks out of all the B Dasher Mark IIs. You like that? Platinum Taxi. And this is one we're talking about not super valuable. It's got 17 total tracks, 13 of which are non-cities, 4 cities. You got the red B Dasher Mark II, actually slightly more than the pink. It's got 13 non-city tracks, but same amount of cities at 9. We got the red Crawley Cart, 13 non-city tracks, 4 cities. Red Taxi, 12 non-city tracks, 4 cities. As we mentioned, 16 total tracks, not great. We got the Rose Taxi. This is the one that is not in the special pipe, but the one that is very valuable. It has 20 non-city tracks, 6 cities, number 13 on our list. Secura Quick Shop, 21 non-city tracks, 4 cities. It's been a top 10 cart for a long time. It is now number 11. And then the absolute best so far, Mark II, we got 14 non-city tracks, 9 cities for the Sky Blue. You're probably using it for ranked. Maybe you're not. I think it's next week's rank, but it's an absolutely beautiful cart. I love the Sky Blue. It actually matches the little ring that's as you're coming down from the track. So really, really cool to be seeing it on there. And then Sleigh Rider. Out of all these holiday items, it did get the 2 cities. It's 10 non-city tracks to go with it. Star Spangled Flyer. 10 non-city tracks, 10 cities. This is a meme cart. I remember this came out with Sunshine, and it's been basically just as unvaluable as he is, with only 20 tracks and half of those being cities. And then my boy, the Vampire Flyer, just is in ranked after ranked after ranked. It's almost exhausting how much ranked he's been in. 15 non-city tracks, 3 cities. So not even that many tracks, but is absolutely slaughtering it. Number 4 on our list. And then the Yellow Off-Roader. So many people have been investing in this card. And honestly, I now have some tickets I don't mind replacing instead of this Merlion. And I might put it on this Yellow Off-Roader. It's got 0 cities and 19 non-city tracks. Number 5 on our list. And massive hitbox, which is probably one of the many reasons it is number 5 on our list. But Antilev, I'm sure you have nothing to talk about on this slide. Tell us a little bit about what you think about these carts that got buffed.
There's a lot of terrible carts on this list. Like, look how many carts have less than 50 non-city tracks. There's so many bad carts here, really. Now, let's talk about what are the most interesting buffs. I think the big winner here is one of the big winners is the Tanuki card. It got 2 solid non-city buffs: Choco Island 2R and Choco Island 2T. It is definitely one to keep an eye on. I think he can make a run at top 5. It just has not been ranked that much. So if it starts getting into ranks, look for it to move up. It is got, you know, first class coverage. It's really good in that regard. Yeah, a lot of the buffs are single city buffs, especially when we're looking at the one bottom. So I'm gonna skip over most of them. Yeah, Silver King got 2 buffs. One's a city, one's a non-city. It's just it's crazy how good this card is. I don't need to say it. I say it every number. You know, talking about the 2 new cards that I tripled, they're both pretty disappointing. 2 buffs each, 1 city, 1 non-city, and yeah, you would expect and hope for more on these new cards. Yes, a gold pumpkin card is absolutely, like, if you don't care about hitbox, put all your tickets on that card, because taking the hitbox out of it is the best card in the game. White Snow Skimmer got 3 solid buffs as well. But it had such a poor start. It's only like just getting to respectability now. It's got 12 tracks, and I think even 2 of those are Merry Mountain, or one of those is Merry Mountain. So it's even maybe like it has only 11 non-cities. Yeah. Other than that, yeah, not a whole lot to add. It's again, like you said, there's a lot of buffs. A lot of them are on the Singapore tracks, which will be valuable going forward.
Yeah, good points there. As we move into gliders, a little bit easier on the eyes, but still got a lot of gliders that got buffs. We'll start with the 3 that got 3. Those are the Aurora balloons, the Black Cat parafoil, and the Magic parasol. Nothing too crazy here. I would say these aren't gliders that have been around for a long time, and they're right there in the mixed teens. We'll see the Magic parasol now up to 23 total tracks, 18 of which are non-cities. That's really good. We'll see how things turn out. This Black Cat parafoil was seen by many to be a potential valuable glider, it being in this week 2. Then we'll move into the gliders that got 2 buffs. Kind of a who's who of gliders. We got the 8-bit Super Mushroom, 18 non-city tracks, 1 city. The Candlelight Flight, 13 non-city tracks, 2 cities. Definitely kind of lagging behind. Gold Penguin Wingtip, 9 non-city tracks, 1 city. The Golden Wings, 19 non-city tracks, 3 cities. Absolutely well worth investing in. Number 6 on our list, an absolutely wonderful glider. If you didn't get it the 2 times it came in as special pipe, it's you might be kicking yourself, and it is just so valuable right now. We'll get into that on the top 10, but we got the Pink Gold Meteors, not so valuable. 13 non-city tracks, 3 cities. It's just lagging behind, but it hasn't been around for too long. We'll see what happens. And then the Ship's Wheel. As we talked about, any new item coming out of a special pipe is nearly guaranteed to be a top 10 glider. It's taken a while, but it is now number 7 on our list. 19 non-city tracks, 10 cities. Got the Silver Manta glider. This is what we talked about earlier. Definitely a decent glider. It slipped a little bit, though. Still got 2 buffs here with 20 non-city tracks, 7 cities, number 13 on our list. And then, here we are, the brand new to the permanent pipe, the Silver Surf Master, 18 non-city tracks, but it does have 12 cities, so keep that in the back of your mind. Nintendo does seem to like silver items. This one has 12 cities, so take that into account. But 30 total is a really good number for a glider, so you cannot complain about that at all. Moving from number 2 to a former number 1, number 5 on our list, Black Great Sail. Got 1 buff, 26 non-city tracks. Holy moly. 6 cities. Great glider. I don't need to tell you that. You've already invested in it, so you're happy to see that little buff. Right when you thought I couldn't get any higher than 33, now you're 34 for the Black Great Sail. Cat Parafoil, 10 non-city tracks, 0 cities. Nice to see that, 0 cities. Festival Wings. This is the glider you had to look up. 17 non-city tracks, 6 cities. The Gold Toe Beam Balloons, the brand new gold coin glider. 7 non-city tracks. It did get this one little city here. New Year's 2020, 10 non-city tracks, 1 city there. Polka Dot Manta Glider, 17 non-city tracks, 13 cities. Your boy, the Rose Parasol, 22 non-city tracks, 9 cities. This is your favorite, number 14 on our list. So it's still solid. Might climb. We'll see what happens. Star Spangled Glider, 19 non-city tracks, 18 cities. Man, really I remember that came out with Mario Sunshine too. Literally all those items that, looking back, absolutely insanely poor value. But it does have like a huge number, just a sheer number. It's in ranked. I might have to be using it. It's so sad. But it does have 19 non-city tracks. So, for what it's worth, it might be the better of the 3. And then we have the Star Grid still. Phenomenal glider. Broke the top 10 a couple tours ago. Still holding on at number 9 with 21 non-city tracks, 9 cities for a total of 30 tracks. Gotta like that. Tanuki Parafoil, 18 non-city tracks, 2 cities. Toe Beam Balloons, 16 non-city tracks, 7 cities. Vampire Wings, 18 non-city tracks, 2 cities. And then the Yukata Ribbon, 18 non-city tracks and 8 cities. It is number 11 on our list. It's kind of hovered right around that 12, 11, 10. We'll see how it goes from there. But Ansel, what are your thoughts on the gliders that got buffed?
I think the Star Spangled Glider, that might be a little bit typo. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have 37 tracks. I think it is. It's got 8 cities, not 18 cities.
I was gonna say that's pretty good coverage considering the fact that it's been absolutely garbage every time I've looked at it.
The big winners in this tour. So you need to be a little bit more critical when you're looking at these buffs because a lot of them are buffs which are not so valuable. I think the big winners here: Ship's Wheel, number first and foremost. It got 2 great non-city buffs. It's finally its coverage is catching up to its ranking. It got the DK Pass T, which is, a really fun one. And it got Choco Island 2T. And you've got another big winner is the Magic Parasol, with 2 solid buffs. That one got Neo Bowser City T and Sunset Wilds T. And finally, the 8-bit Super Mushroom. This one is a sneaky good glider. It's came out in the Toad vs. Toadette Tour. So it still has 52 tracks left to see in it. It's already got 18 on city. So this is definitely one to keep an eye on. You know how much Nintendo likes to buff the 8-bit items. Beyond that, each of the wings got a solid buff. The Vampire Wings and the Golden Wings. So those are definitely coming along nicely. Other than that, not a whole lot to mention. I was really disappointed with the gold toe bead balloons. So many people went into the special pipe to get one as a non-spotlight, and it didn't even get a real buff in its first tour. It got Singapore Speedway R and nothing else. It's really disappointing. All right. But that's basically what I have on the gliders.
Cool. No, that was great. Moving into the top 10, there was one small change. Ansel, if you want to tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I discussed a little bit with Tabor. We've been talking in the community about how we rank the gliders, and a number of people have mentioned to me that they maybe there's a little bit too much importance placed on glider skill. I know a lot of people don't care about glider skill at all. I do think it is somewhat important. But we did knock the skill component from 15% down to 10%, and to compensate, we increased the ranked. Tabor increased the ranked component from 25% to 30%. So now, just like drivers and karts, for the coverage and ranked portion, ranked is 1/3 and coverage is 2/3. So that you will see some of the gliders with bad skills like Super Horn or Mega Mushroom, they might rise a little bit in the rankings, and then gliders with higher ranked skills like Coin Plus maybe are gonna suffer a little bit as a result of this. It's not a big change, but we'll see in the rankings what comes out.
Yeah, so let's talk about that list. We'll start with drivers. We got Kamek holding down the number 1 spot. No surprise here. He is right now the top Coinbox driver in the game, the number 1 driver in the game, and everyone's fan favorite, just in the fact that he's freaking Kamek. But we do have Tanuki Rosalina sniffing at that number 1 spot, up 1 to number 2. We obviously knew when she was coming out. We're like, oh man, she's coming out the special pipe. She's going to be probably the better of the Tanukis. Obviously, we know that Nintendo doesn't like Mario, so it continues to give other people buffs. But Tanuki Rosalina, number 2 on our spot. Birdo Black, a former number 1 driver for a long time, down 1 spot to number 3. We have the Penguin Mario holding down number 4. We have the Peach Happy up 1 spot to number 5. Great to see her slowly climbing. I think she's an awesome looking driver. I think she has an awesome skill, but her coverage has been sus lately, and so it was great at first, and then it wasn't great, and now it's kind of great again, but not really. And so definitely look at Bam and Gerbs when it comes to investing in Peach Happy. She's a tricky one. She might give you a lot of coverage. She may not. So just definitely worth looking into. She's got some interesting overlap there. Builder Toadette, down 1 spot to number 6. Yoshi Kangaroo, number 7, holding down that spot. We'll see if it goes up or down. My guess is up. Then we have Donkey Kong Jr. SNES. Man, this is probably the highest he's ever been. Number 8 on our list, up 4 spots. He continues to see the right buffs. He continues to be in ranked. He won our award for Comeback King. He came out a long time ago, and now he's just absolutely loving life. Up 4 spots to number 8. We got Peach Explorer, as we talked about, new to the permanent pipe, former number 1. She's got great coverage still. She's number 9. And we have Shy Guy Ninja, unfortunately fallen 2 spots, but still really solid. For All Cup ranking, he's unavoidable. He's at least got like 1 track every All Cup ranking. Now, it's not one that I really want to boombox all the time. Or maybe that's just because it's been tough, I think, with Calamari Desert specifically. But he's number 10 on our list, and I really hope he holds on to this into the top 10 as long as possible, because he is an awesome driver. Definitely I think he won the best looking. So obviously we like to see good looking items on this list continuously, but great skill. We'll see how it all pans out. But we do have 2 boomerang drivers, so let's see. It's a matter of time. I wonder if Shy Guy Ninja can hold on. We can one day see 3 boomerang drivers in the top 10. How crazy to think about that compared to last year, where we didn't have any, and now we have 3 baller boomerang drivers. We got Luigi Painter at number 11, Baby Mario Koala at 12, King Bob-omb Gold at 13, and Bowser Santa at 14. Dry Bones Gold at 15, so 3 coin boxers there in a row, rounding out our top 15. Antilev, what are your thoughts on our top 10 drivers?
Yeah, a couple of things. Kamek is not even done getting buffed. There's still 9 tracks he hasn't seen. He hasn't seen 3DS Mario Circuit, all 3 variants. He hasn't seen Rock Mountain, all 3 variants, and there's RTs, which he hasn't seen. I don't know if those are likely tracks, but it's just crazy that there are still tracks for him to see, and he's so good. Going beyond that, Tanuki Rosalina, she's number 4 in the ranked rating, so that's carrying her. But she's also number 2 in CCV, in the raw coverage rating. So she's number 19 in weighted course value because she has a lot of RTs, but that raw coverage and ranking are really buoying her up. Happy Peach, she's really being carried by her number 1 ranked ranking. That's, I think, really the only thing keeping her up there, because everything else, she's got the Lucky 7, which is decent, but she's losing tracks to Coinbox OPAP, and her coverage is okay, but not spectacular. Shy Guy Ninja, you were saying you hope he hangs on. I think he will linger. He is number 40th in ranked appearances, so that's like way down. But his coverage is just so good that that is not going to go away. He's 3rd in CCV and 6th in weighted course value. So I don't see him sinking out of the top 15 anytime soon. One other thing I'd like to mention: you look at this top 10. All of these drivers, either they have like a huge value in ranked recently, or they have a plus skill, or some combination of both. All with the exception of Peach Explorer. She has a mediocre ranked score. She's 21st. She's got mediocre coin box overlap. She's 27th in that. but she's got the best coverage of any driver in the game, and it's not even close.
Wow.
Like the number 2 drivers, I think it's Penguin Mario, and maybe 1 or 2 others. They have 23 non-city tracks. She has 27 non-city tracks. She's got 4 more non-city tracks than the next best driver. It's crazy.
Wow.
She's just up there by brute force of having so many tracks. I'm glad she's in the all clear. I hope I get her on my free-to-play account. She'd be super useful. And one last thing, looking at King Bob on gold, Dry Bones gold, and someone who fell off the list, which is Mario Tuxedo at 17th. They are being weighed down by their bad ranked appearance scores. They are respectively 58th, 62nd, and 54th in ranked appearances. So if you don't care that much about ranked and you're more into all cup ranking, those are still 3 amazing drivers: King Bob on gold, Dry Bones gold, and Mario Tuxedo.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of all 3 of those Coinbox drivers. Obviously, Toilet Paper Mario, he was in ranked last tour, but it had been a while prior. And of course, that's Nintendo's jive with Tuxie. He just continues to see the weirdest behavior. I still can't answer all the questions as to why everything's happening, but it is what it is. We're now moving into karts. We got the Silver King, number 1 kart in the game, and absolutely dominating the other karts. We have Chemex Zoom Broom, got the weird hitbox, weird handling. It's just kind of weird, but it's got great coverage, and really that's, on paper, it is the number 2 kart in the game. Got the Romby Runner, a former number 1, awesome kart, decent hitbox, number 3. So all 3 of those have held down those spots from last tour. We did have Black Turbo Birdo fall 2 spots, which made room for my Vampire Flyer to go up 1 spot to 4, and the Yellow Off-Roader up 1 spot to 5, which, by the way, the more I talk about this Yellow Off-Roader, the more I'm like, I cannot wait. I think I'm going to pull the trigger and put my tickets on that. It is such an awesome kart. I'll have to just double check with Bam Gerbs, but it is on point, man. Loving it. Black Turbo Birdo, though, it's got the crazy hitbox. It's just kind of just really, really teeny tiny, but it's great across the board when it comes to the other categories. But again, as we mentioned, kind of like that gold pumpkin cart, if you don't care about hitbox and you'd rather just have the just sheer coverage, kind of like the Peach Explorer, go for it, man. Take the tickets up. It's well worth it. Got the Painter, which is in the week 2 pipe. We got the Tanuki cart. Both of those hold down their spots at 7 and 8 respectively. Then we got this Cactar, hopping, leaping, and jumping up the list to number 9, up 6 spots. That's a huge jump. To be able to jump that high into this top 10 is huge. We don't see it very often, but it is number 9 on our list, and it is in a pack. It's in the Woe Stud pack category that I put it in. And then we got the Crawley cart. Been around forever, and it has got an awesome hitbox. It's one of my favorite carts. Looks so cool. Still holding down into the top 10 even after, what has it been, like 15 months since it was released. So very cool there. Secure Quick Shot falls outside the top 10. It had a really good long time in the top 10, but number 11 now. Gold Pumpkin Cart, number 12. Rose Taxi, 13. Black Cat Cruiser at 14. And Fast Frank at 15. What do you think? What are your thoughts, Antilev, on these top 10 carts?
So what you said, Silver King is dominating, and I always say this every week.
I'm afraid of you actually telling me how dominating it is, because it is that scary.
This list doesn't even actually do justice to how dominant it is in the So for the drivers, like the top 6 drivers are kind of like in a pretty narrow range when you look at their actual score of all the components. Mm-hmm. It's about a 3-point width between 81 and 84 points score for the top 6 drivers. Silver King is on 88 points. The number 2 cart, Chemex Zoom Room, is on 84 points, so 4 points below. The number 3 cart, Ram Runner, is on 76 points. It's 12 points worse than the number 1 cart. It is absolutely blowing every other cart in the game away right now. We've never seen a card like this before. It's crazy. It's good at everything. It even has a lot of cities. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's crazy.
So let me ask you this. If you were in my situation, you wanted to put some tickets into something, Silver King or Yellow Off-Roader?
difficult. I'd have to look at your inventory. Your yellow off-roader is really a rising star. I made some notes about that as well. It has the number 40th ranking in weight course value because it has a lot of RTs. It has 7 RTs. So if you don't value RTs as much, it's maybe not as interesting to you. But I think we've seen RTs in ranked a lot recently. So for me, that's not as much of a black mark. It's number 10 in raw coverage already. Number 1 in size. It's only 35th ranked in ranked appearances, surprisingly. It's not been in ranked that much. If it starts getting in ranked, watch out. And it still has a lot of tracks to see. Let's see, it came out in the Toad versus Toadette tour. So like I said, it's got I think 52 tracks left to see. That's crazy.
Wow.
I'm recommending everyone who has yellow off-roader, if it fits into your coverage, fills some gaps, you will not regret putting tickets on it. Between Silver King and yellow off-roader, it's difficult to say. Like, obviously Silver King has got more value right now at this moment. For the future, I think yellow off-roader may be actually even better. Who knows? It's hard to say because Silver King is just so dominant right now.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
No problem. The Tanuki card is one that I like to keep my eye on. It's something that once I have more than 0 card tickets, which is what I have right now, I would like to invest in it. It's only 17th in ranked appearances, so that could definitely improve. It's 5th in overall coverage. Also has some RT, so it's 20th in weighted coverage. But this has I think 37 tracks left to see, so definitely some buff potential there. I could see that being a top 5 card. It's on the big side as well, not massive, but a nice big hitbox. I'm a big fan of it, and I hope it's better. The Catzer in 14th, that is really getting carried by its ranked appearances. It's number 3 in ranked appearances. Its coverage is kind of mediocre. And finally, I have to sound like a broken record. Vampire Flyer only got a city buff, so its coverage is still, you even pointed out yourself, it's only got 15 non-city tracks, so it's really being carried by its ranked appearances and being the biggest hitbox in the game. Number 66 in raw coverage, number 67 in weighted coverage. It needs to get more tracks, but that's basically my notes on the cards for this tour.
And you know what? It will get more tracks. I can guarantee it because it doesn't have that many. I think
it will.
Like I said, hey, give it a track. Make that track a ranked track. I'm happy. Do it every tour. I'm even happier. So I'm with you, man. I'm with you. It doesn't have that many tracks, but the fact that it's been ranked as often as it has, considering how few tracks it has had, I mean, it's going to have somewhere in the 25 to 27 total tracks one day. Is my just wild thumb in the air type of guess, but. Hey, along the way, I'm going to get rank track after rank track. So I put tickets on it out of faith, and I've been pretty happy, just at least off of.
And if you're using it for ranked, you're loving it because it's one of the best ranked cards in the game right now. It's been in ranked so much.
I mean, honestly, it's probably the number one reason why I've been able to save 14 cart tickets as cart tickets for whatever reason. It's so hard to level them up. So I'm typically.
Tell me about it.
I'm bleeding tickets because I'm like, I need to put tickets on this. I need to put tickets on that. Like this. I think it's for next week in ranked. I've been debating on putting tickets on something silly. I think it was last tour was the party wing, and this tour is something else. And so I'm like, I'm not gonna put tickets on a party wing. But the Vampire Flyer has been the number one reason why I've been able to save tickets because it's been in ranked, so I haven't had to put tickets in something because of it. So for me, that's been my Silver King, and I know the Silver King players have been in that situation for a long time because it's just been so dominant. Rami Runner for a while there too, not quite as much here lately, but Silver King and Vampire Flyer have been ranked ticket savers if you think about it that way. Finally, for the top 10, we're going to finish with gliders, as we always do. A lot more movement here than we did see on the other 2 slides. The Dream Glider, though, holding out that number 1 spot. You got to love that. Silver Surf Master, the second biggest jumper, up 6 spots to number 2. We got the 8-Bit Fire Flower, still an awesome glider, down 1 spot to number 3. Springtime Crane, up 1 spot to 4. And then the Black Great Sail, the former number 1, down 1 spot to 5. We got Golden Wings up 1 spot to 6. And then the largest jumper, finally breaking our top 10, the Ship's Wheel at number 7, up 7 spots. The Black Toe Bean Balloons down 5 spots. This is a huge drop for the Black Toe Bean Balloons to number 8 on our list. Starry Great Sail holding down number 9, nice and easy. And then we got the Glinting Glider down 4 spots. I think that might have to do a little bit with the algorithm change, but I think overall, like it's so many other these gliders got some pretty decent buffs. You got a ribbon, number 11, 8-Bit Bullet Bill at 12, Silver Manta Glider at 13, Rose Parasol at 14, and Gold Home Field Glider at 15. Antilev, what do you think about the top 10 list for gliders?
Yeah, so Dream Glider didn't get buffed for once because it doesn't need it. I mean, again, like Kamek, it still has tracks to see.
Right.
Actually, Silver King too. What's going on? Silver Surf Master is being carried by its ranked. It is the number 1 glider for ranked appearances recently. Its coverage is good, but it's not. Like a number 2 coverage. It's 26th in raw coverage and 20th in weighted coverage. The Ship's Wheel, actually, the coverage is kind of starting to catch up to its position, up to 15th in weighted coverage, and it's still being carried by its number 3 position in ranked, but it got those 2 huge buffs this tour, so that's why you have the big jump. 8-Bit Fireflower, it's not so much in ranked recently, and skill-wise, it's not the most important, but it has got the second best coverage in the game. I triple capped this one. My entire glider triple cap strategy is based off 8-Bit Fireflower as a starting point because it's got only 1 less track than Black Great Sail, which is the most in the game, and it's got way less overlaps. So I'm basically starting with this one, and then looking at other gliders. I triple capped the 3 gliders. I triple capped. I cover 63 tracks with those 3 gliders because they all have a lot of tracks and only like 3 overlaps between the 3 of them. And so that one is why it was a great starting point for me. So I still think it's for me maybe the best glider in the game. The Golden Wings, I think it's really impressive. Even with the algorithm change, it didn't lose a place. So that's a really strong one, even though Coin Gliders got downgraded. But yeah, you can see that with the Glinting Glider. You can see that with the Gold Home Field Glider. They both slipped a bit, and that is probably due to Coin Gliders not being the skill component, not being as heavy as weight. And then finally, Black Toe Bean Balloons. I think it's a little bit misleading that it's falling 5 spots. The number 5 through 8 gliders are all in a really tight range of their score. It's less than 1 point separating all those, so that it didn't really change that much in its score. It dropped from 5th to 17th in its ranked score, so that's kind of what's driving the drop. But it looks way more dramatic than it is. It's still a super top glider, and don't feel bad about investing in it.
Yeah, I have that Black Toe Bean Balloons at 7,595. It's been really, really helpful for me. So I'm with you there. This just happens to not be in ranked, and there was some kind of change to the algorithm, but it sounds like it's neck and neck. Golden Wings, nice to see that go up one despite the coin situation. But again, it's right there in that cluster that you just mentioned. So take that for what it's worth. All right, outside of the top 10 items, so kind of talk a little bit about some of the top movers and shakers. We have the light blue Toad Pit Crew up 15 spots to 102. And as you know, these supers, like really the best a super is going to get is in kind of like the high 70s, high 80s, high 90s. So, it's still new, so it's climbing. We got Catalina already at number 80. Nice to see that. Waluigi Vampire. Here we go, buddy. Up 11 spots to number 18, so he's just outside the top 15. How crazy is that? We'll see what happens. We've had some good Bob-omb Cannon top 10 experiences. We'll see if he can break it. I'm rooting for him, even though I don't have him at a high level. But he's just so awesome. I think Nintendo should be proud of him. Meowser, a nearly guaranteed future top 10, number 32 on our list already. Man, he's number 32. He just came out, man. Absolutely insane. Penguin Toadette up 10 spots to 66. We got Berta Blue up 6 spots to 85. That's a really, really good number there for Berta Blue. Mario Satellaview up to number 20. So he's getting there, up 5 spots. Thanks to those nice little buffs he got. Lakitu Party Time up to number 25. Pauline Party Time. Probably not a future top 10 driver, up 5 spots to 48. And then, as we talked about it, Donkey Kong Jr. SNES Love and Life at number 8. He went up 4 spots, as we've discussed earlier. As for karts and gliders, the biggest changer was the Frosty Bells. Obviously, he got the most buffs this tour, so that makes sense. The Sports Coupe 2022 got a lot of buffs as well. Those are both in the 90s, so don't get too excited. Their limelight will come, I'm sure, at one day. We will say the Metal B-Dasher went up the most out of all the B-Dasher Mark IIs. It is now number 47 on our list, with Sky Blue at 46. Went up 17 spots. So they're neck and neck there. Classic B-Dasher Mark II at 67. Star Spangled Flyer now at 117. Wow, I shouldn't even have told you that. We could forget the last 30 seconds. We get the White Snow Skimmer up to number 58, up 11 spots. And then the Black Cat Cruiser, as we talked about earlier, just outside the top 10 at number 14. Swift Jack and Blue Badwagon, forget they even exist. But they did get a nice little move. We got Most Improved Gliders. We got the Black Cat Parafoil up 15 spots to 74. Too early to really tell. Here we got the regular Toe Beam Balloons, the non-black version, up 13 spots to 37. The Antilev Wings is what we'll call them, up 13 spots to 70. New Year's 2022 up to number 90. Magic Parasol, here we go. This is just outside the top 15, so you might not see it on any of our top 10 lists or anything like that, but it is number 17. It's up 12 spots. So perfect timing for that special pipe. Pink Gold Meteors, number 30 on our list. Candlelight Flight, 40 on our list. Aurora Balloons, 48. Sunny Surf Master, 51. And Blizzard Parasol, 63. These all got at least 10 spots up. So nice to know that. Antilev, what are your thoughts on all these movers and shakers? A lot of them.
Yeah, like you said, Meowser at 32 in just his second tour.
Nuts.
Insane. He's only 86th in raw coverage and 93rd in weighted coverage, because he had, he's only got like 11 tracks. But I mean, like, if he's that high already, I mean, he's got future number 1 written all over him. I mean, put your tickets on him now. Other than that, Teleview at 20, also really soon. He's got some 80s, some tracks still to see, and he's got such a good, so many good tracks which are not Coinbox tracks. Like, I hope we can do like a deep dive on him later, because he's got a very unique coverage, and I think he's the best Lucky 7 driver in the game already.
Wow.
One other driver that's not on this list that I want to mention in the movers and shakers is Luigi Lederhosen. He fell all the way from the top 15, I think, to 29th.
Whoa.
Yeah, it has to do with his ranked appearances. I think some of his ranked appearances fell out of the window. He's still 12th in raw coverage and 9th in weighted coverage, so still a good value driver, even though he moved down the rankings a lot. Moving on, I didn't really have a lot to say about the karts. None of them are like the only interesting one really for me was the Black Cat Cruiser, and we kind of already covered that in the top 10 list. It's being carried by ranked. And looking at the gliders, I think the most interesting one there is the Toe Beam Balloons and the Magic Parasol. Toe Beam Balloons, I think this has quite something to do with the algorithm change. It's got the Mega Mushroom, which is one of the lowest rated skills, and it's got okay coverage. I actually have this one myself, double cap, just because it covers some like tough paywall tracks, and it's a decent glider, so glad to see it getting a little bit of a bump there. And the Magic Parasol, yeah, I think this one's gonna crack the top 10 soon. It doesn't have a huge ranked score, only 19th in ranked, so it's kind of decent coverage, which is pushing it up. So yeah, maybe we'll see that one in the top 10 soon.
I like it, man. Just based on time, we'll get to the All Cup ranking MVPs. We got obviously have Luigi Vacation. I think you called him Luigi. Yeah, let's not let that be a thing. Can we please stop that? It looks better written, obviously, than sounding, but it looks silly. I think some people had some other crazy names. I don't really have anything funny or unique or tongue in cheeky, but we also got the new Man, now I forget the name. I'm already getting brainwashed. But the Merlion, still, both of those two got 11 tracks for All Cup rankings. Those are 11 tracks out of the 36 that you can use for All Cup ranking. Now, I will say we got the additional rewards, which kind of bumped the getting rewards up to 900,000 points, which is great. I think it's phenomenal with us getting all these cap tickets and everyone moving up to level 7. We knew that number was going to rise. It's really cool that they are pushing people to really get close in on that million. We'll see how that goes, but this might be even more important of a resource for you. The Jukebox Buggy and the brand new is it glittering parasol? These are really small font. I apologize, but both of those have 10 tracks. Just got one item with 9 tracks. That's the Luigi garbage. Then we have 3 gliders that have 8 tracks. This is the Dragon Wings, the Sunset Balloons, and the Silver Surf Master, all with 8 tracks. Then we have a couple items with 7 tracks. That's the Peach Explorer we've talked about, Nabbit, and Luigi Painter. A nice, interesting group of drivers there, along with the Silver King. Still crushing it, man. Oh, man, it's going to be hard. Who am I putting tickets on? We'll see. Black Cat, Parafoil, and the Golden Wings. All these items, all 6 of them, have 7 tracks. Any thoughts on these, Antilev?
This is a big Lucky 7 tour. If you've got Lucky 7 drivers, you're gonna make use of them if you're going into All Cup ranking. Like we got Nabbit, we got Luigi Painter, we've got Teleview has got some tracks. It's a nice tour if you're a fan of Lucky 7 drivers. It's not as coin box heavy as the last tour where we had 31 of 36 coin box tracks. Going beyond that, some of the interesting ones, the new items always have a lot of ACR tracks, but stuff like these are all good quality items and not bad to invest in. Dragon Wings, Sunset Balloons, Silver Surf Master, all decent items to invest in, especially from an ACR perspective. So I don't think there's any really weird things on this list. It's a pretty nice collection. I wouldn't really mind putting tickets on any of the returning items here.
Good, man. Love it. Just based on time, we'll keep cruising through. We got the ranked tracks. So for Singapore Speedway T and the Luigi Cup, just the Luigi Parafoil can be unlocked at level 6. A lot of unlocks for Waluigi Pinball. You're probably not struggling here, but you got Funky Kong at level 3, Baby Luigi and Birdo Yellow at level 6. You got the Black Dozer, the Green Standard 8, both unlocked to level 3. You got the Glam Bruiser and the Radish Rider, both unlocked to level 6. And then 3 gliders that unlocked to level 3. This is the Rainbow Starshoot, the Sunset Balloons, and the 8-Bit Jumping Luigi, all unlocked to level 3. Nothing unlocked.
Best gift.
What was that?
8-Bit Jumping Luigi is a gold best gift.
Yes. So might be worth taking to level 3. But most likely, you're pretty good coverage on Waluigi Pinball RT. Those are, I think, out of everything, that's probably the easiest coverage. Nothing unlocked at Singapore Speedway R. So, certainly Waluigi Pinball is going to be the biggest unlock, and take a look at some of these in case you're looking for coverage. As for next week, the Kamek Cup. Got Singapore Speedway. Got the glittering parasol at level 6. Most likely you probably don't have that option. A lot of things unlocked, at least, respectively, at least for next week. Unlocked for Sunset Wilds. You got Tanuki Mario at level 6. Probably not something you're really too worried about. Tanuki Kart at level 3. And then 3 gliders, one of which is at level 3, which is the Dream Glider. Definitely worth taking to level 3. Butterfly Prism and the Calco Parafoil, both unlocked at level 6. So good to know that there. And then when it comes to Singapore Speedway RT, you got Luigi Vacation at level 6. So if you're debating on taking him to level 6 and you need some coverage there, and you got the tickets, which you may not have, worth putting him all the way up to level 6 for ranked. And then based on what I know Frenzy Fans calls it the double feature or triple feature, or in this case a quadruple feature, we got Luigi Vacation, 4 total tracks in ranked. So that's a lot. We don't normally see 4, so that's awesome. One of which is unlocked at level 6, which we just talked about is in week 2. We got Daisy Swimwear in that pack, she's used twice. Vampire Flyer twice as well. King Babam and Pauline Rose all used twice, all not unlocked. So pretty straightforward when you're going to be using them. As for the carts, you got the Roaring Racer, the Merlion, used 3 times, and then 3 carts used 2 times. The Cactar, the Sky Blue, B-Dasher Mark II, and then the Black Dozer is unlocked at level 3, so worth noting that there. That would be the Waluigi Pinball, which we just talked about, those 3 having 2. And then finally, for gliders, we have the Luigi Parafoil, the Luigi Garbage, 3 tracks total, one of which is unlocked at level 6, which we just talked about. And these next gliders are all 2 total tracks. Pink Gold Meteors, Silver Manta Glider, Silver Surfmaster, Sunset Balloons, which has that unlocked at level 3, and then the Glinting Parasoil, 1 unlocked at level 6, and 1 regular. So there you go, guys. Those are the multiple use ranked items. Anything you want to say about either of the unlocking slides?
The one interesting thing that's not on here is the Jukebox Buggy also has 2 ranked tracks, but one of them is in week 1 ranked. It has the Waluigi Pinball RT unlocked at level 3, but obviously you're not going to be able to use it. Other than that, no.
Unless you're like you and are lucky enough to get it in the week 1 pipe, right?
I don't think you even can because it's a banner. It's not.
It's not in the
new items.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
The week 2 pipe. Yeah.
Yep. That's crazy. Why would they do that? All right, whatever. Doesn't make any sense. But you know what? Nintendo doesn't have to make any sense because it's their game, and we still are feeding into all of this ourselves. So thank you guys for joining us. I know an hour and 45 minutes of fun talking about the Singapore tour. It's a great tour. We love the track, grind the track. We got 4 new ones that are cities that may not come back. Who knows if level 200 will ever come? But this is such a fun track. It's not too long, so it's worth the constant grind of going and getting those EXPs up. But thank you for joining us, Antilev. Thanks for joining us. Anything you want to say to your fans before you leave? Anything especially about All Cup ranking? Any shout-outs?
You put me on the spot here. No, I mean, just thanks to everyone who helped me out, all the people who gave me advice and pushed me to keep going. You know who you are. I really appreciate it. So thanks a lot.
Awesome, guys. So until next time, may the frenzy luck be with you. See ya.